Good morning, friends. I am Sunita Fadkule, professor in mechanical engineering, working at JSPM Jaywantrao Sawant College of Engineering, Hadapsar, Pune. This is our video lecture number 28, which is on 2D wave system. And today we are going to learn problems on torsional vibrations. So learning outcome is you will be able to estimate natural frequencies and principal mode shapes, that is also known as a amplitude and node plot of 2D wave vibration torsional vibratory system. So let us have a look at recap. So this is the syllabus content where we are going to study torsionally equivalent shaft, natural frequency and mode shapes, and also vibrations of geared system. Okay, so what we have learned in earlier lectures regarding torsional vibrations, we have already covered the theory. Okay, so in part A, we have learned, that is in unit number 1, that how to determine the natural frequency of single rotor system. So that is given by omega n is equal to square root of kT upon I, where kT is the torsional stiffness, I is the mass moment of inertia of rotor, which is also given by square root of Gj upon IL, where G is the modulus of rigidity of shaft material, J is polar moment of inertia of the shaft, I is mass moment of inertia of the disc or rotor, and L is the length of the shaft. Okay. Then we have also learned there is a typical procedure to solve any problem of two rotor system. We have solved many problems on longitudinal vibrations, combined vibrations, and today we are going to apply the same procedure to solve two rotor system. That is the problem on torsional vibrations. So procedure is almost same, only in the terms of torsional vibrations I have modified it. Okay, so what is the first actually we have seen this one. Okay, directly I think we will go to problems. Okay, or before that one we have also learned what is a two rotor system. Okay, so when it is a two rotor system, that is it is a 2D wave system, so there will be two natural frequencies. Okay, and one of the natural frequency of the rotor is 0, and second natural frequency can be found out from this formula, omega n2 is equal to square root of Gj upon I1 L1 or I2 L2. Okay, and what is that L1 or L2? That is the distance of node point from end rotors. So how to find out L1 and L2? L1 is equal to I2 upon I1 plus I2 into L, and L2 is equal to I1 upon I1 plus I2 into L. Okay, then we have also studied how to determine torsionally equivalent system. Okay, for which we are supposed to find out equivalent length of the shaft. Okay, this is applicable to whenever the shaft is not of uniform diameter. When there are steps in the shaft, that is shaft is made up of 3, 4, 2 or whatever it is, different diameters. Then before applying all these formulae, we have to convert that shaft into equivalent shaft system. That means the stepped shaft should be converted into uniform diameter shaft, and to convert that system we have to convert two parameters, DE, that is we have to find out equivalent diameter, and we have to find out equivalent length of the shaft. Okay, so equivalent diameter usually we take either is equal to D1 or D2 or D3. So if we assume DE is equal to D1, in that case equivalent length formula can be modified to this one. Okay, now directly we will go to problem number 1. Okay, so let us read the problem statement. Two identical rotors are attached to the two ends of a stepped shaft. Okay, so this is the system, original system. Okay, two rotors are there, rotor A, rotor B. Then there are three diameters are there having different diameters. Okay, of different lengths. Okay, and the total length is also given. The diameters of the shaft is 0.75 meter for the first 0.25 meter length, 0.1 meter for the next 0.1 meter length, and for the remaining length it is 0.0875 meter in diameter. Okay, the total length of the shaft is 0.6 meter. Find the frequency of free torsional vibrations of the system and position of node from either masses. Okay, Assume modulus of rigidity as 50 into 10 raised to 9 Newton per meter square. So what is given data? See, this is the given data. M is given, K is given. So we can find out IA and IB, that is mass moment of inertia of rotor A, rotor B, that is equal to MK square. M is given, K is given. So this is mass moment of inertia. Okay. Then diameter D1, D2, D3 are given. L1, L2, L3 are given. Okay. What we are supposed to find out? Two natural frequencies and distance of node from end rotors. Okay. Now say what is the first step of our procedure in the torsional vibrations? We have to draw this original diagram which is given to you, and after below this one only we have to draw these two diagrams. Okay. Of course you have to draw this. You don't have to take the scale. So you can easily draw this diagram before solving the problem also, or you can leave the space to draw the diagram so that one below other all three diagrams will lie. Okay. And these dimensions, so what is equivalent length or the diameter of the shaft, that you can write down after solving the problem. Okay. So this is the equivalent system. So this system has been converted into equivalent system. Okay. So there are two things. What diameter we should find out, that is DE, and what should be the equivalent length. Okay. So usually I told you that the equivalent diameter can be taken equal to D1 or D2 or D3. Okay. And then assuming that diameter, we have to find out equivalent length. Okay. So let us go to the solution. So finding first equivalent length of the shaft using following equation. Already we have derived this equation when we have studied torsionally equivalent shaft. That equivalent length is given as dE upon D1 raised to 4 into L1 plus dE upon D2 raised to 4 into L2 plus dE upon D3 raised to 4 into L3. Okay. Now here we assume dE is equal to D1. So when we assume this, what should be the equivalent length? Remember, when you take dE is equivalent to D2 or D3 or D1, your equivalent length changes. Okay, so that particular equivalent length is true only for that particular diameter shaft. Okay, so when we put dE is equal to D1 here, dE, dE, dE. So we put D1, D1, D1. So D1 will be cancelled out. So it will be formula is converted into this one. Okay. So everything is known to us now. L1 is known, D1 is known, D2 is known, D3 is known, L3 is known. Okay, put the values and you will get LE is equal to 166.094 meter. Okay, so actually this is the original length, that is 0.30867 meter. And what we are getting equivalent length for this diameter DE is equal to D1. See here, DE is equal to D1. If we consider this diameter throughout the length of the shaft, okay, this length which is 0.6 meter, okay, that will change to 1.66 meter, 1666 meter. Okay. So then we have to find out length of that is distance of node point from rotor A and rotor B. So let's call it LA and LB. Okay. So there will be two equations. LA plus LB is equal to E. Okay. See here. This LA plus LB, here is the node point. Okay. Node point is the point where there are zero vibrations. Okay. These vibrations for at rotor A is this much of amount, and suppose this is beta 1, this is beta 2. Okay. So here node point distance we have to find out using two simultaneous equation. So first equation is LA plus LB is equal to, this is your equivalent length which we found out. Okay. And what is the second equation for LA and LB? See, omega N2, whether you consider this point, node point of this system or this system, if we convert this system into say single D wave system, so what will be the formula? Omega N is equal to square root of Gj upon IL. Okay. And if we consider this system, it will be I1L1 or IALA. And if we consider this system, it will be IBLB. Okay. So natural frequency must be same because that node point is common. Okay, so from that equation, we know this one, that IALA is equal to IBLB. It is always the case for any two rotor system. Okay, so solving these two simultaneous equation, okay, we can get the value of LA and LB. Okay, so as both the rotors are of equal mass moment of inertia here, okay, here you know IA is equal to IB, both the rotors are having same mass. Therefore, node point will be lying in the center of equivalent length shaft. Okay, that means LA is equal to LB here. See, because these two rotors are having same mass moment of inertia. Okay, so LA is equal to LB. We are getting 166.094 divided by 2, that is 833.047 meter. Okay, now see, as LA is greater than L1, the node point does not lie in the region of AC. Okay, LA, see, this is your LA, which is 833 point something meter. Okay, and which is greater than this L1. See, this is your L1, L2, L3. Actually, your shaft length is 0.6 meter only, but your virtual length, that is equivalent length, is coming 1666, okay, meter. So that means node point does, if we consider D1 as an equivalent shaft, we don't get actual position of node point on in actual system. Definitely we get here, but this is equivalent system. We want the node point actually to lie whether it is lying in this region AC, or this section CE, or this section EB. Okay, so now so for that purpose there are two methods. Second method is somewhat very difficult, you may not understand the concept of that one, that's why I'm following first method. Okay, so what is that method? Now D1 from D, if you consider D1 diameter equivalent, you are getting so much high equivalent length which is greater than 0.6. Now what do you do? Again follow the same procedure, because which is very hardly you will take 2-3 minutes. So now you consider when node point doesn't follow in AC, so it may fall in CE or it may fall in AB. Okay, so now you take DE is equal to D2 or DE is equal to D3 and find out whether node point lies here or not lies here. Okay, so that procedure now we have to follow to find out actual distance of node point in actual system. Okay, so to decide whether the node lies in the region CE or EB, assuming DE is equal to D3. Okay, first I am taking some, you can take D is equal to D2 also. When you again get the length more than say that D1 plus D2 or L1 plus L2, then you make equivalent D is equal to D3. Okay, so now I know the answer here because I have calculated. So D, assuming latest DE is equal to D3. Okay, and putting in the following equation. So you have to follow the same procedure. So put D is equal to D3 here. So that formula will be converted into this one. So again, you know D3, D1, L1, D2, L2, L3. Okay, find out equivalent length. Now see, this equivalent length is coming as 0.3086 meter. Okay, again, what is your LALB? Half of this one, because it is given because two rotors are of equal mass moment of inertia. Okay, so LA and LB is 0.1543 meter. Okay, hence the distance of node point from rotor B is 0.1543 meter. Why from rotor B? Because we have considered D3 is equal to DE now. DE is equal to D3. See here. So 0.13. Your actual system is this one. Okay. What is the total length of this shaft? This region, that is EC or EB, it is 0.25 meter. Okay. And what did you get? The distance of node point from rotor B, okay, 0.15 meter. So that means somewhere here that node point lies. Okay. Now this is the actual, this is the, from this way we found out the node point, where does it lie in actual system. Okay. So you can consider, if you don't get in this, in the L1, because see, if it would have been got the answer point less than 0.25, then it would have been correct. It would have been fallen in this region. Okay. So like this, you have to do the trial and error method just to determine the node point distance. Okay. Then later on, we have found out frequencies, natural frequencies. So what is the formula? One of the natural frequency, you know, of the two rotor system is 0. So what is the other natural frequency? Omega n2 is equal to square root of GJIA. Okay. Now here, either you consider the single rotor system on left hand side or right hand side. If I consider on left hand side, okay, so this will be G into J3 upon IA LA. Okay. So consider anything. If you consider, I can also consider IB LB, because you know that IALA is equal to IBLB. This must be there, no? See, this is, we have written IALA must be IBLB. Okay. So here you have to consider any one equivalent, IALA or IBLB. Okay. Accordingly, this will change. So where J3 is equal to, this is a polar moment of inertia, pi by 32 D3 cube, D3 raised to 4. Okay. Why D3 we have considered? Because here we have considered DE is equal to D3 in this one. DE is equal to D3. Okay. So that's why we can consider here D3. We have to consider because equivalent diameter is that one now. Okay. You can find out natural frequency by considering D is equal to D1 also. Okay. You will get the same answer. So putting the value of this G, which is given, J3, which is which we have found out here. Okay, that is pi by 32 D3 raised to 4. Put the value of D3, you will get this. Okay, and then IA and LA. IA already we have calculated, and LA also we have calculated here. Okay, so like this you will get omega n2. Understood? 34.101 radian per second. Now let us go to second problem. Hope you have understood this problem. Now the typical procedure is there for any two rotor system. So let us solve further two problems. So second problem statement is, in the two rotor system shown in following figure, IA is equal to 0.15 kg meter square, ID is equal to 0.6 kg meter square, and the shaft material has modulus of rigidity as 84 into 10 raised to 9. In upper problem also, that in given data by mistake I have written 54, that is 84. That is a typing mistake. And calculate the natural frequency of torsional oscillations and position of the node. Okay. So what is given data? IAID is given to you, that is mass moment of inertia of rotor A. See, these are the two rotors. Okay. Rotor A, rotor D is given. Then G, modulus of rigidity is given. Then see here, this is the system. Let us analyze the system. So this is step diameter. Actually, there are only two steps. This is one diameter D1. This is second diameter D2. Okay. But there is a hole in this diameter. See, this is a drilled hole. Okay. Or bore this is. So as this is a hole, definitely this diameter is different. Okay. So though there is not directly the step, though you see that this is a uniform diameter throughout from B to C, but you have to consider there are two diameters here. One part is from here to here where the hole starts, and from here to here is the third region. So there are three regions, 1, 2, 3, AB, BC, CD. Their lengths are also given. Now this diameter is given, this diameter is given. Here you have to find out the diameter, how much is, because this is the hole and this whole diameter is given 0.025. So how much is diameter here? Whenever you will consider you can say in the formula D1 raised to 4 minus D means to find out the equivalent length, you have to consider this raised to 4 minus this raised to 4. You will get this section, okay, for equivalent length. So what is given? IAID is given, G is given, D1, D2, D3 are given, L1, L2, L3 are given. We have to find out this omega n1 and omega n2, okay, and also distance of node point. Correct. So this is the diagram of, this is known as, every diagram is known as equivalent system and mode shape, okay, or amplitude and node plot. So this is your equivalent length and this is the diameter, equivalent diameter. So here we have assumed DE is equal to D1, that is 0.025 meter. So for DE is equal to D1, we have to find out how much is equivalent length, that is LA plus LD, okay, and this is the node point. So we have to find out how much is, once we find out this LE, we have to find out where does this node lies. Once we find out this node point distance, then we have to see here where does that node lies, whether here, here or here. Okay. So let us go to in this problem, as there is a hollow section, as I told you, along the some length of the shaft, it will be considered as a separate diametrical section of the shaft. Okay, so finding out equivalent length of the shaft using following equation. Now you are familiar with this equation. Same equation I am writing again and again. Okay, so that you can by heart it. So assume D is equal to D1. This formula can be converted into this one. Okay, then now here I was telling this one D3. This section D3, what is the diameter of the diameter of here? Okay, so this outer diameter is D2 and the whole diameter is D3. So how will you get for this polar moment of inertia, or in this formula? See, this is your formula, D1 upon D3. So how will you write down D3? D3 is your D2 raised to 4 minus D3 raised to 4. Okay, this D3, don't confuse between this D3 and this D3. Yeah? I would have written dash actually. So D1 fourth upon D2 raised to 4 minus D3 raised to 4. So D2 is known to you, D3 is known to you. So this will be this equivalent on this diameter. Okay. So putting all the values, again you will be getting equivalent length, that is 0.2642 meter. Okay. Now to find out the distances, here I have used directly formula purposely. In the first problem, I have solved the two simultaneous equation to get the values of LA and LD. Here, by solving those two simultaneous equation, directly we have derived the formula LA is equal to an LD is equal to. So I have used the formula so that you can use any one directly formula you can use, or you can use the simultaneous equation. Okay. So LA is equal to ID upon IA plus ID into LE, and LD is equal to IA upon IA plus ID into LE. So as I told you, this is a reverse. So when you find out LA, here mass moment of inertia of D is there. When you find out LD, here mass moment of inertia of A is there. Denominator is same, IA plus ID. Okay. So putting all the values, you will get LA and LD. Okay. So 0.211 meter. So look here. LA is 0.211 meter. 0.211 meter. So that is somewhere lies here. It is 0.2 meter only. Okay, but the node point lies here. You can make the equivalent of this one also, but that procedure is very lengthy. So you can also, to find out the actual node point on the system, you can take DE is equal to D2, and again you can find out equivalent length, and again you can determine the distances. Distances will be different, but your natural frequency will be same. You take any diameter equivalent to equivalent diameter. Okay, either D1, D2 or D3. Then to find out the natural frequencies, one of the natural frequency of two rotor system is 0. Other, how will you find out? Using this formula, G into J1 upon IALA, or you can consider here IDLD also. Okay. So why J1 we have considered? Because we have considered here DE is equal to D1. Remember, what equivalent diameter you are considering, no, only that diameter you have to consider here. Okay, because that equivalent length, this LA has come from that equivalent length, and equivalent length has come from that D1. DE is equal to D1. Understood? So finding out this J1, that is polar moment of inertia for that diameter of the shaft. Okay, putting this D1, you get this J1, 3.83 into 10 raised to minus 8 meter fourth. Okay, and put all values so that you will get omega N2, that is 318.7 radian per second. Understood? Now in this problem I have not solved further, so that you can determine the actual distance of the node in actual system. You know what is the LA here now? 0.211, and this length is only up to 0.2 meter. So that means your node point lies in the diameter D2, but we have considered D1. D is equal to D1. So what you can do now? Okay, this is homework for you. Consider DE is equal to D2. Then find out this equivalent length. Okay, this equivalent length, which will be definitely different. Then you find out LA and LD. Those are also different from your first answers. and then you find out how much is the distance of node point from this one. Okay, that is definitely not different, not this one, but that will be in between this section. It will be 0.2 plus something, so that your actual node point lies here. Understood? So this is a homework for you. Now let us go to third problem, okay, which is interesting. A steel shaft ABCD, 1.5 meter long, has rotors at its end A and D. Rotor A has mass 500 kg and has a radius of gyration of 600 mm. Rotor D has a mass of 700 kg and radius of gyration as 900 mm. The connecting shaft has a diameter of 50 mm for the portion AB, which is 400 mm long. That means D1 and L1. And has a diameter of 60 mm for the portion of BC, which is 500 mm long. So D2, L2. And has a diameter of D for the portion CD, which is 600 mm long. So this is D3, this is L3. Okay. Many times diagram is not given. That's why this description is given. So you have to imagine and you have to draw the system. Okay. Determine the diameter D of the portion CD, that means D3, so that the node of torsional vibrations of the system will be at the center of length BC. Okay. And secondly, we have to find out the natural frequency of torsional vibrations of the system in hertz. That is F, we are supposed to find out. And the modulus of rigidity of the shaft material is 8 into 10 raised to 4 mega Newton per meter square. Okay. So mega means 10 raised to 6. So 10 raised to 6 into 10 raised to 4, that is 10 raised to 10. So it is 8 into 10 raised to 10 Newton per meter square. Okay. This is your original system. So IA, mass moment of inertia of rotor A, 180 kg meter square. Here 567 kg meter square. Okay, which we have found out. How we have found out? MK square. See these. MA is given, KA is given, MD is given, KD is given. So I is MA KA square, ID is MD KD square. So this is the mass moment of inertia. Okay. Then total length of the shaft is given, that is 1.5 meter. Okay. Then there are 3 sections. So D1, D2, D3. We have to find out D3. Okay. Here this is a reverse problem. Okay. So D3, that means we call it as a D. Okay. So D is unknown. Then L1 is given, L2 is given, L3 is given. Understood? And what else is given? That your node point, see here, given that the node is falling at mid section of region BC of the shaft. This is your region BC. Okay. So this is of length 0.5 meter. So node point lies here. Okay. That means from A, it is in actual system, it is 0.4 plus 0.25. Okay. Or from rotor D, it is 0.6 plus 0.25. In actual system, we don't know about equivalent. Now we have to find out first, we have to follow the reverse procedure. No? So first you have to find out equivalent length, then LA and LD, okay, from the given node point now. Okay. Then let us find out the solution now. So what is given now? Again following the same procedure. So finding the equivalent length of the shaft using the following equation. Now we are familiar with this equation. LE is equal to DE upon D1, DE upon D2, DE upon D3 raised to 4 raised to 4, L1 into L2 into L3, like this. Okay. So take DE is equal to D1 in the above equation. I know, I told you it's a trial and error method, and maximum there are only 3 or 4 shafts, and it is hardly, it will take 2-3 minutes. Okay. So DE is equal to D1 in above equation. So this equation is converted into this one. Okay. So you know everything. Now see, this LE is equal to this. This is the formula. Now what is given actually? See, the location of the node is given in the middle region of the shaft, which is shown by following equation. Okay. See, this LA, location of the node is known to you. So this LA, now I told you, you have to follow the reverse procedure, means what? See here. Now this is your LA. Okay. So we have to find out this LA. And what do you know? It is lying here. Okay. So when we take DE is equal to D1, L1 is this one. And up to here, this is your LA, no, in equivalent system. So you can write down the formula that LA is equal to, that is the thing, but the equivalent length, no? It is equivalent length, but it is equivalent up to node point only. Not the total length I can consider, because I cannot find out because the D3 is not there. Okay. So instead of writing the formula for total equivalent length, I write down the formula only for LA. Okay, because I know the node position. So how will you write down LA, this formula? LA is equal to, okay, this is the length L1. Okay, so D1, I am taking D is equal to D1, no? So D1 upon D1 raised to 4 into L1 plus up to this one only. Okay, so that is D1 upon D2 raised to 4 into L2 by 2. Okay, so let us write down, let us see this formula. See here, LA is equal to L1. Why L1? Because D1 upon D1 is cancelled out. No? D1, this I have put D2 is equal to D1. Sorry, D is equal to D1 for this term. So D1 upon D1 will get cancelled. So L1 plus D1 upon D2 raised to 4 into L2 by 2. You understood now how this has come. Again, I will explain you. Okay. Remember this term D1 upon D2 raised to 4 into L2 by 2. How this has come? See from here. Directly L1. You have to use the same formula of equivalent length. Okay, LE is equal to, but now I have to consider only up to LA. So LA is equal to, what's the first term? DE upon D1 raised to 4. So here DE is equal to D1. So D1 upon D1 raised to 4 means 1 into L1. So it only L1 remaining. Plus, what is the second term? DE upon D2 raised to 4. But DE is D1. So D1 upon D2 raised to 4 into half of this length, this L2 by 2. Understood, no? So this we have written LA is equal to L1 plus D1 upon D2 raised to 4 into L2 by 2. Okay. Now everything is known to you. Okay. L1, D1, D2, L2. Find out LA. Now here this LA you have found out in the equivalent system. Okay. So the location of the node point from rotor D is given by following equation. Now LA you have found out. Similarly find out LD. How will you find out LD? See here. From this rotor now. Okay. So how will you use? Now again D is equal to D1 you are considering. No? So this is half of the length. That means D2, say D1 upon D2 raised to 4 into 0.5 by 2 plus what you can write down? D upon D1 means D upon D3. Sorry, DE upon D. DE is D1. So D1 upon D raised to 4 into this L3. Okay, now D is unknown, remember. So this LD, same formula you can write down, only we have to consider the distance of node from rotor D. Okay, so D1 upon D2 raised to 4 into L2 by 2 plus D1 upon D raised to 4 into L3. Remember, this formula is very important. Okay, don't get confused. Only you have to put here D is equal to either D1 or D2 or D3. What equivalent diameter you are taking? This formula you must understand. Okay, and then LE, I am considering LA so that this formula can be converted, used for LA. Later on, I am finding out LD. Okay, so LD is equal to this one. Now here, what is unknown? See, D1 is known to you, D2 is known to you, L2 is known to you, D1 is known to you, L3 is known to you. What is unknown? D. So we are supposed to find out D. But for that purpose, we must know how much is LD. How will you find out LD? Now from this LA, already we know that IALA is equal to IDLD. IA is known to you, ID is known to you, LA we have calculated here. For that purpose only we have calculated. Okay. Now find out LD. So once you find out LD, put here in this formula LD, you will get D. This D. Okay. So putting in equation A, you get D, 0.96 meter. Understood? Now find out the natural frequency. Again, as I told you, omega n2 is equal to square root of G into J1 upon IALA or IDLD. Okay. What is J1? Why J1 only we are considering? Because we are considering D is equal to D1. That's why we are considering J1. Okay. So calculating J1 and putting here every value, all values, you can get natural frequency and convert it into Fn2. 1 upon 2 pi into omega 2 is nothing but Fn2. 3.64 hertz is the answer. Understood? So please solve this problem in your notebook. Otherwise, you won't understand. Right now, when I am teaching to you, definitely you will understand. But when you try to solve the problem in examination, you will not be able to solve it unless and until you practice these problems. You will solve by your own hands in your notebook. So please solve all the 3 problems in your notebook and try to solve other problems from the books also. Okay, now the last topic of unit number 3 is torsional vibrations of geared system. Okay, see, this is right now we have considered only 2 rotor system that may be applicable to any actual practical, no? So it's a practical application of 2 rotor system or 3 rotor system. Okay, so there is a geared system. What is there? That one is a prime mover, which may be motor, which may be generator, prime or turbine, you can say, and other is a driven system. So what is a driven system? It may be you can say pump is there, compressor is there. Okay, so there are two rotors. See, we'll read here. Torsional vibrations are quite often observed in geared system. This leads to high dynamic loads and improper meshing of teeth. So this further leads to failure of the tooth of the gears if this dynamic load increases. So to analyze the geared system, we consider the rotors of the prime movers, which maybe I told you as a motor or turbine, and the applications which possesses inertia. So both possesses inertia. This is a 2 rotor system. One is motor, one is compressor, suppose. Okay. If now these two are connected with the help of a geared system, you want to reduce the speed, no? So now if you consider inertia of the both gears, then it will become 3 rotor system, rotor 1, rotor 2 and rotor 3, which will be equivalent to the geared system. Okay, but that is not for your syllabus, as I told you. Now if inertia of the gears is very small as compared to these 2 rotors, that is motor and compressor or pump, then this will become 2 rotor system because inertia of the gears is negligible. Understood? So in that case, though these 3 actual, there are 4 rotors, pinion, gear, motor and say pump. Okay, so this will become equivalent to 2 rotor system because we are neglecting the inertia of the gears. Okay, so if the inertia of gears is negligible, the system will be equivalent to a 2 rotor arrangement. Okay, then you can follow all the procedure whatever we have followed in these 2 torsional vibrations. In cases where the inertia of the gears is large, the system can be considered equivalent to 3 rotor system. Okay, so same procedure you have to follow for 3 rotor system also, but that is not for your syllabus. So if at all the problem will be coming on the 3 rotor system or with the geared system, you have to always neglect the inertia of the gears. Rather the that inertia is will not be given in the problem only. Okay, understood? So I think you have understood the total unit of unit number 3, which is completely on 2 DOF system. It's actually very easy unit. Only it requires practice solving the problem of the variety of problem. Okay, so thank you very much. Then next we will be starting either unit number, I think 5, not 4. Okay, thank you very much.